Yo, what up everyone? In this video, I want to review a trade that I took by reading the tape, the level 2 in time and sales. I have a live recording on Bookmap of what I saw on the tape, the confirmation signals on why I took the trade, along with understanding what happened because these patterns consistently repeat themselves on a daily basis. It's how the market facilitates trade and how it auctions. So I'm going to break down all of this and show you exactly what I saw. But all I ask is if I provide any value to your trading, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and drop a thumbs up on this video. And if you haven't already followed me on Instagram at Entrepreneurship, I'm going to link it in the description below. I post daily trading recaps on here, along with very good trading tips and tricks that I guarantee you aren't going to find anywhere else. The link is in the description below. You're seriously missing out if you're not following it. But now let's get right into this recap. By the time you're watching this video, this was a trade that I took last week on February 15th. And right off the bat, there was really not much going on this day. Let's go over the pre-market plan just for some context. I post these every single day in the Discord for Trade members. And there was really not much going on. Yesterday, we bounced at this 43.67 demand zone down here, bounced at it. And overnight, we were trying to rally inside of the supply that we had at 4471, 4483, and 4496, which was from Friday's sell-off, Friday being February 11th. This is going to be key. Any rally here that fails, the market's going to move back down. It's going to sell off. However, if buyers find value above, we can rally. And we had demand lower at 4408 and that one zone from yesterday at 4467 or 4367. So now going to a 1 minute chart, there was not much going on. The market opened up. We had supply above. We had demand below. And we were just trading what I call to be no man's land, where we're not at an imbalance. There's nothing of significant volume. And there's really not much going on. My edge is not very present in here. So this is where, as a trader, you have to be disciplined and wait for a better opportunity, that something jumps out at you that presents your edge that you feel comfortable taking, as long as it makes sense from a risk to reward standpoint. At this point, 20 minutes, the market opened up. Balanced conditions were developing unless we got another move within 30 minutes of this action. So we were getting balanced conditions right off the start. We had a large market sell-off. And how we see this on Bookmap is this sell-off right here is when the market started coming down from that high I just showed you on the chart. So this sell-off right here is exactly what we see on Bookmap, like this. And the point I want to make here is keep an eye on this 4450 area. On the chart, I have it marked as a yellow resistance line. But what I want you all to understand here is what price does as it comes to this resistance line. I will note this resistance line was not here prior to the market opening. This was developed by watching the tape in real time and spotting a very large passive seller. So what we're going to see here is as the market on Bookmap was coming up to the 4450 area, there was a decently large seller. You're going to see him add liquidity to the market. You're going to see a very large or very thick orange and red line indicating large passive sell orders, which is above the price. And also what you're going to see is very large green dots indicating very large aggressive market buy orders coming into the market. For every transaction, there's an aggressive market order that hits a passive sell or buy order. So in this case, we're going to see market buy orders hitting very passive sell orders. So as the market's coming up, watch what happens. There's going to be a very large buyer coming into the market, and the market could not get above the 4450 area. You're going to see him here, right here. Large bubble, very large volume. You can see it down here. So there's a strong buyer trying to get price above 4450. He's showing effort, but he's not getting rewarded. That's how the market moves. For him to start showing more effort, we would want to see more aggressive market buy orders come above that level, the seller go underwater, and the buyer showing effort. If he shows effort, he's going to get rewarded. But in this case, we cannot get above 4450. At this point, this was really not an important area for me. You could see this, this happens all the time. But when we have multiple tests of this happening, the seller now passively adds to his position. Hasn't hit it yet. He's just passively, adding into the market. The market comes back down. And what's key here is, look what happens. We go back to test him again. And there's another large buy order coming through, yet price could not get above it. So how I read this, as you see the volume is building, large buy orders coming through, yet we really cannot get above 4450. So how I read this is a large buying coming into the market, yet we cannot get above that level. There's a seller who's basically acting like a really big brick wall that is not letting price get above that. And yes, despite there is large buying, there's that seller who's passively outweighing all those market buy orders. So now the market comes back down, and that seller right there at 4450 is adding to his thing. Another 2-3 minutes later, same exact thing. This happens about 4 or 5 times. He's adding to his passive order over there. And now going to the chart, you're going to be able to see this visually. On 3 different candle equations before 10 o'clock, we hit it 3 times. Those were the ones that I just showed you. And we didn't test him again until 10:16, 10:17, and 10:18. So what I just showed you on Bookmap looked like this. Yeah, we could spot resistance at 4450, but when we see the intention and what is actually going on behind the candlesticks, we know that there's very large buying coming into the market, yet we cannot get above 4450. We could kind of see that on the chart, but not too much. We can't really tell if there's a large passive seller sitting there. We just know that price cannot get above it. So then 30 or so or 20 or so minutes later, we come back at 10:16 to test it. I want to show you what I saw on the tape. 10:16 is right here. So as we get close to him, make this bigger. As we get close to him, look, he's still there. Very large size sitting on the offer. He's passively selling there. And the market comes back up to test it. Some orders get filled. Same thing. We can't get above it. Look at this. Testing it, can't get above it. We fail. Buyers are showing effort. They're just not getting rewarded at all. And this is exactly what it looked like. I took a screenshot right there, and I posted it in my Discord at this point. This is at 10:21 when the market looked like this right here. Posted a screenshot, and I said, on ES, there's a large seller at 4450. If we can aggressively put pressure on him, a test to 4460 highs is very possible. This is exactly what it looked like. And I pulled it up over here. So without looking at the live video, you could see it. Just to recap it again, without repeating myself. Large aggressive market buy orders coming through at 4450, and the market cannot get above it. As we come back down, that passive seller that was acting like a ceiling, I guess you could call it reloading, but he was just adding to his position every time price got closer. And think of it as a ceiling. We just cannot get through the ceiling despite all the buying that we have. Think of, I don't know, a bunch of people rushing through a brick wall. If there's not enough people to put pressure and, gravitate enough force to get through the wall, the market's going to move lower. This is what we see here. That seller is just adding bricks to the wall. He's adding his leverage, and the market cannot get above it. So how the auction works is, like I said earlier, it comes down to effort versus reward. If buyers are showing effort and they're not getting rewarded, then we're probably going to see an inverse effect. But if buyers are showing effort and they start to get rewarded, then the market most likely is going to continue in that way. And that large seller that is now filled, large size. I mean, I could go back to the live recording and try to pinpoint exactly how much size was done at that point. But there was large, a seller got filled a lot of shares or a lot of lots on the E-mini, and price cannot get above it. So what we want to see at this point, once we've identified resistance, same thing on the flip side for support, what we want to see is we want to see a lot of market buy orders come through above that price, find acceptance above it, and if we come back down to retest it, you want it to act as support with the bids stepping up and adding to their position as price gets closer. Now, another thing to note to add context to this was we were bouncing off of VWAP, and we actually were bouncing off the low of the day at the open. So this kind of gave it more leaning towards the bull side, that we were bouncing off VWAP, we were holding the low, we were consolidating, and the market wasn't getting freaked out from that seller acting as resistance. So now in this case, we could look to play a breakout as long as we start to get some large aggressive buy orders. And at this point, for a target standpoint, if we could get above resistance with large market buy orders, I don't see why the market can't test the high of the day around 4460, 4462. I don't see why it can't. And then if we could get a rally and find acceptance above that, we can rally into supply at 4471 for another 10-point rally from that. So now at this point, watching the tape, I'm really watching some aggressive market buy orders trying to come through at this level. And at 1023, I took it long. I took the E-mini long when the market looked like this. I thought after the fourth or fifth time we were going to break through it. I guess we could argue my entry was a little premature because what happens is we pulled back a little bit right into VWAP. Show you all what it looked like. We pulled back. I entered at 1023 when the market looked like this. And we pulled back 2 minutes after back into VWAP. And again, kept holding it. Some nice lower wicks around VWAP. Buyers are now defending the lows and buyers are now buying the highs. So we obviously have large buyers or large buying factored into the market. And watch what happens when we break above the 4450 level. We are now above it. That passive seller is gone. He's not, showing more size a little higher. We got some stops being taken out. 565 lots, 575. Some nice volume coming through. Finally above that 4450 area. Some nice market buy orders coming through. And just to fast forward it, what I said earlier was if we come above that level, you want it to retest it. So what happens here is, here's that break right where my cursor's at. We break above it with some market buy orders. Some stops get fueled or some stops get hit. When shorts cover, when any buy market stop order gets triggered, that's bullish. The market's going to fuel on either, or it can't keep going up on shorts covering, but a market buy order is going to fuel more buying to the upside. So we break above the high, find some resistance at 4455, and we pull back into the 4450 area. Remember what I said earlier with how resistance becomes support? Break above that level. That's that break we saw the resistance around 4455, come back and look what happens. That 4450 now becomes support. And how we see this on the tape is if you break above a level, you would want to see bids stepping in and large size coming through on the bid, indicating that as the market pulls down, buyers are passively buying at it. You don't want to see heavy size on the offer, and you don't want to see weak size on the bid. So how I view this now is that 4450 break is now acting as support. Bids are stepping in, as you can see now, size over here. Nothing crazy, nothing significant. It's only like 190 or 200 lots on the bid. So nothing crazy at all, but it acted as support as we came back. You could consider this a flag, consolidation. I love seeing that, especially if you've been watching my videos. I love seeing that. Acted as support, and then look what happens. We break that level. Boom, more aggressive market buy orders come through. 4460 target gets hit. And we see some pretty heavy size there. But I want to make a point that, so we hit our target at 4460. I got out 75% of my position at this point. Couple runners in case we want to hit supply. A point I want to make here is my risk to reward really wasn't the best. I was risking about 8 or so points to make about 12 or so points. Not the best risk to reward, but I'll compensate it for a high quality setup, especially when I'm scalping. Because like I said, there was nothing once we got above that resistance and put pressure on that seller. There was nothing stopping us from testing high a day. Nothing at all. So we hit the high of the day. Pictured above is aggressive buying being hit into a large passive seller, yet price cannot move it back above 4450. So a large seller is into the market. Every time price comes back into it, he defends it. Ideally, what I would like to see is follow through above 4450 with strong aggressive buy orders if playing long for a scalp. Failure to get above here in the next 5 minutes indicates weakness and the market may pull back. That was sent at 1025 and the break happened at 1028, 3 minutes later. So I was giving this a little wiggle room forever. Said the market is in discovery mode. Look at the market as a tug of war battle. You want to be in the battle when one side is winning over the other. That's how you gain an edge, and that's how you win. Scaling out some of my position here. Stop loss is a little above break even. Okay, the point I want to make here is the market is currently lacking volatility and balanced. This is where context, this is where understanding the conditions come into play. When the market lacks volatility and when it's balanced conditions, you have to treat your trades a little differently. You're not going to get a lot continuation. You're not going to get big moves if the market's imbalanced. So I treated this trade like a scalp because we are going to lack proper follow through unless proved otherwise. Right now, I don't know what the market's going to do. I took a trade when I saw something of interest, and right now I don't see anything of interest. See how fast things could change throughout the day. Be open to any possible scenario. As soon as you see your trigger signal, get in. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Less thinking is more. This happened very fast. It's not something I planned out for. I'm just reacting to what I see on the tape, and I'm taking a valid trading decision off of it. Eventually, that buying pressure continued until we got to about 4465-ish, and we found a high temporarily, and the market really did nothing all afternoon. We consolidated sideways. Nothing's going on here. This is where you're going to force trades. If you didn't take that original break, you're going to start freaking out. You're going to start wanting to make money, and now you're going to force trades based off of your emotions, not off of valid reason for entering. Why I entered that trade was price and volume confirmed my thesis. I didn't enter that trade just randomly like I see a lot of people doing. And we really consolidated, didn't do much all afternoon. And that's pretty much it. It's just spotting what you see on the tape, understanding the auction theory of the market. There's a full tape reading section to the A to Z course. For those that are members, definitely go back and refresh that, because exactly what I talk about in those videos happened here, whether you're looking at Bookmap or whether you're looking at the time and sales in level 2. I just like using Bookmap because, visually, if you miss something on the level 2 or you miss something on the time and sales, we can go back and it provides a heat map and historical data that we're not going to be able to see in real time. So great trade, executed it perfectly. The analysis worked out perfectly in the Discord, and it was just a clean setup. I love taking trades like this that are stress-free and work out right away. So I'm going to end it on that note. If you learned something from this video, drop a like, comment if you have any questions, and be sure to check out the links in the description below. I offer a very in-depth and educational course that comes with access to the Discord at no extra charge. Prices will be going up soon, but peace out.